Today I'm going to be ranking 66 shoujo manga tropes on a 5-tier system. Starting from the bottom up, we've got the trash tier, and these are for tropes that I hate, I dislike, and I would prefer not to read manga with that trope in, but sometimes you can't help it. Then we've got the doesn't slap tier. Now these are for tropes that they're either done wrong, they're pretty cringy for me, even though I love a bit of cringe, and I just dislike them, but it won't stop me reading that manga. Then we've got the meh tier, and these are for tropes that I'm really not bothered about. They can be in the manga, they cannot be in the manga. Either way, it doesn't bother me. Then we've got the eat it up every time tier. And these are the tropes that I freaking love. I will look for mangas that have these tropes. If someone recommends a manga and I hear this trope, I am reading it that night. I love it and I'm invested in that trope. And then, number one, the elites. The elite tropes are tropes that could do no wrong. I am a diehard fan of. They could be done wrong, they could be done right, it doesn't matter. I will love it no matter what. We love an elite trope, and I can't wait to see what tropes end up in that tier. And to be fair, trash. I'm quite excited for this one. Now, if you don't know what shoujo manga is, it is a category aimed at young adolescent girls or young adult women. It's a sick freaking category. The mangas that come out that are shoujo are freaking amazing. I will put a bigger description in the description box below, but I'm assuming we all know what shoujo manga is because you've clicked on this video, and we are here to rank some tropes. So let's get into it. So starting off with romance. Now, if you're new to this channel, I mainly read shoujo romance. So it is freaking going in the elite because, I mean, come on, you can't not love romance. If a shoujo doesn't have romance, it's not shoujo to me, even though that's wrong, but I need a little bit of romance in there. Like, to me, that category and that trope and genre are one. They are one to me. So romance is elite. Then we've got reverse harem. Right, I have read a couple of reverse harems, and if you don't know what that is when there's one girl and there's more than 3 guys liking her and going after her or with her. Depends what type of shoujo you're reading here, but I like it, but I don't care for it, so I'm gonna put it in the meh. I really dislike it when it's one guy and there's shit ton of girls. That is a no-no from me, but I don't mind it the other way around. Call me hypocrite, I don't care. Then we've got love triangle. Now, this would go in the elite if it wasn't done wrong 99% of the time. Like, I love a love triangle, but I love a love triangle where you have no idea who they are going to get with. And the only shoujo manga, okay, I'm gonna stop saying shoujo manga, okay, so if I say manga in this, it is shoujo manga. I just can't be bothered to say it every single time in this video because I have like a lisp, so it's gonna end up being all and the only manga that for me has genuinely done it great is Fruits Basket. Top tier manga. Top tier anime. Jesus, I love it. I had no clue who she was gonna get with. So I'm gonna put it in ease it up every time because it would be elite, but I need more good love triangles. There was one, I can't remember the name of it. Let me have a look quickly. It was about 2 brothers and a girl, and that was a love triangle. I had no clue who she was going to end up with, and then she ended up with the brother that I did not like, which was great. I'll be with them again today. She ended up with the worst brother. So that was a good love triangle because I had no clue who she was going to get with. Anyway, let's moving on. Okay, childhood friends. Because I'm a romance sucker, I'm viewing this as childhood friends end up getting together, like when they're older. Now, I love it when it's done right, like in, well, it might be some spoilers here, but I mean, it's pretty obvious, but in Kimi ni Todoke, I mean, that childhood friend romance was a 10 out of 10. but I don't care for it. Like, I won't go out looking for it, so I'm gonna put it in there. I do really like it when I see it, but I won't eat it up every time. And most of the time, I'm not rooting for the childhood friends, so yeah. Forbidden Love. How bad is that? I want to put it in there again. I'm not really that invested in it. That's the thing, I haven't read many Forbidden Love mangas. I'm gonna put it in doesn't slap, actually. I don't think it doesn't add flavour, because we know they'll get together. Like, if something's forbidden, it's like you want to eat that apple. You can't eat that apple, you're gonna eat that apple. We know what's gonna happen. So I'm putting in it doesn't slap. That might be harsh, actually, but I can't put everything in there. Insta love, no. I dislike this trope. This is a trashy trope. It's lazy writing, in my opinion. There's no build-up. We don't know the characters. There's no investment. So it's a blur. It's a trash trope. Do not love it. I will say a condition called love, that is probably the only insta love that I've been okay with, because it's like a trial period and she doesn't fall instantly in love with him. I think that's where I get really icky, when it's both of them like, yeah, we both love each other, let's go. But that one's more like he really loves her, but we don't really know why. I think there's underlying stuff to do with him, whereas she doesn't understand romance, so she's a bit like, okay, I'm gonna see how this goes. So that's maybe the only exception to insta love that I might be okay with. Then we've got miscommunication. This is in so many mangas I read. So many freaking mangas I read. And I don't mind it. However, in so many instances, it goes on too long. Cough, cough, Kimi ni Todoke. I know I've mentioned it once before, but that could have honed that in so much earlier. Same as Blue Spring Ride. It gets frustrating. It really, really does. So it's gonna have to be doesn't slap. I don't like it. I don't like it, but it's not gonna stop me from reading the manga. Oh my goodness, Makeovers. Okay, I don't understand the obsession in manga where female is a geek. She's deemed ugly. She's deemed undesirable. No one looks at her. She's a nobody. But take off those glasses and mwah, she's stunning. Why? Why do authors hate glasses, people? They're hot. I love glasses. Maybe a bit biased there because I wear them, but I love glasses, and it does frustrate me when the makeover is, the only thing about the makeover is the female loses glasses. I don't mind a bit of change of dress up, so they just become a bit more fashionable. That's great. But all in all, I don't think this is done well, and most of the time it's offensive to glasses wearers, so I'm gonna put in doesn't slap. I'm trying to think of a manga that does it well. If you know a manga that does makeovers well, pop it in the description, because I actually will try and read that to see if it's good or not. Okay, fantasy. Now, I don't read tons and tons of shoujo manga fantasy, but I do read some. And the ones I've read, I have eaten that up. They have been phenomenal. So I think I'm going to put Eat It Up. I don't read a lot of them though, but I'm going to put it and eat it up. It is good. It adds a lot more oomph to the story. There's a bit more higher stakes. It's not as samey as School Life, which I read all the time, and Slice of Life. So I do really like fantasy, so Eat It Up every time. Slice of Life. I have to put it in Eat It Up every time. I freaking love it. I love it. It's the main trope I read. Same with School Life. When that comes, you know it will be an Eat It Up every time, because I do. Ooh, two naive friends. Just when they're naive, they don't know they love each other, they're just with each other, and then finally one day, epiphany, they love each other. Meh. I'm marrying this. I'm not bothered. Damn. Thought I'd have more leads by now. But you know what I mean? It's cute when it's done, but I'm not bothered. I like some spice in there. I like it when they don't know each other and there's a bit of intrigue and there's more grafting. So it's a meh. It's a meh. Beach trip. Beach Trip, I love this. They're in great mangas. My favourite though is not a shoujo manga, and it is a shonen, and that is The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. That Beach Trip is my favourite trip, and if you haven't read that manga, go and read it. But anyway, back to the shoujo. Fruits Basket actually has a really good beach trip. So many mangas have great beach trips, and that is going in Eat It Up. Eat It Up. Eat It Up. Kara's First Love, that is literally my first ever shoujo manga I ever read, and I love that manga. I mean, it's not that great now. The times have changed. The guy's a bit of a red flag, but I do, and it's got the makeover trope, which annoys me, but I do love that manga, and the beach trip one is great. There's a lot of depth to the beach trip in that. I would recommend it, read it. Second Chance. We know where that's going, and if you don't, what are you doing? This is trash. No second chances here. You do me wrong once, you're done. And I shout at my mangas being like, get rid. What are you doing? Run for the hills. Because it's always when the guy's done something wrong. It is, come on. When is it when the girl needs a second chance? It is rare. If you know a manga that has that, pop it down below. Actually, I want a lot of manga recommendations and chat with good tropes in the description box, so don't disappoint me. Friendship. It's elite. It is elite to me. I just love friendships in manga. They make so much impact to the story because it's not always about romance. It's about the friendship, the bonds, the sisterhood, the brotherhood, what they will do for each other, how they have each other's backs, everything, how they go to each other in times of need. I freaking love it. You can't tell me that friendship is not an elite trope. Please, no. School life, eat it up. Eat it up. I'm eating it. I'm eating it up. I love it. If you've watched my channel before, you'll know that most of my recs are school life. Trying to broaden my horizon and trying to get a more broader scope of genres. So bear with me, I am reading different. It's just hard to get out of an addiction. Oh, okay, Clumsy FMC. If anyone's read Lovesick Ellie, she is a clumsy FMC. If anyone's read Pink 2 Habanero, I'll put it up on the screen. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that name wrong, but she is clumsy as F. It is hilarious. I do like a clumsy FMC. When they're too clumsy, it gets a bit annoying, but I think it adds great comedy. It really does. I'm gonna put it eating up. I do, or do I put it in there? Because I don't look for it. Like if it's not in there, I'm not bothered, but when it's in there, I love it. Okay, I'm marrying it. Like there's other FMCs that I am a diehard fan for, and they're in this trope list, so we will see them. Comedy, elite. Elite. I love it. I love it. You can't tell me that trope's not phenomenal. More like a genre. I guess it's kind of like a tropey genre ranking instead. But you know what I mean. Has to be elite. Emotional drama. I think I'm going to put this in meh. The only reason why is because I don't go searching for crazy emotional manga reads. I'm looking more for funny, light-hearted, but I do really enjoy when it gets emotional, when it gets deep. I do. And it adds a lot of depth. So maybe actually, I don't think it deserves to be in meh. I do love a drama. And when it's emotional, I'm more invested. I love to cry. So I think I'm going to put it in, actually, eat it up every time. I do. Yeah, I can't kid myself. I am a crybaby and I love it. So it's going there. Sunshine, cutesy, female lead. Eat it up every time. They are my favourite female leads. I love them. I know the English translation is two people romantic, so I'll pop it here, but this has the best cutesy sunshine female lead. Also, we've got Loving Yamada level 9999, I think it is. I mean, Akane, she is the definition of this as well. Then we've got You're My Cutie. She is such a sunshine female lead. I mean, the list goes on. Top tier girls are that type of female lead. They are. They're top tier. So maybe do I elite this? Do I elite? No, I'm going to put it on eat up every time. I think elites are going to be special to me. No, screw it. I'm eliting it. I love it. I'm a diehard fan for those girls. So here we go. But love rivals. This is a bit different to love triangle and reverse harem, where the guys they're like competing for her. So there's a bit of challenge in play, whether they're going on dates, like both of them. The girl's giving them both a chance, or they are in secret competition and the girl doesn't know. This is love rivals and I love it. I freaking love it. It adds spice. It adds flavor. I'm literally dying turning the pages. I really enjoy it. Like, you know what I would class a love rival is? How I Met My Soulmate, because both the guys know that they want the girl and the girl knows that both the guys want her, and they're kind of they're not giving up. Do you know what I mean? Even if she gets with one of them, the other guy's not giving up. Now that is a love rival and I'm here for it. I love it. So it's going and eat it up every time. I'm all for that romance spice. Okay, so we're going to go with a sub-genre of a shoujo manga, which is josei. And I'm going to call them mature themes because some shoujos have some mature stuff in them, but I'm mainly focusing on joseis here. So there's a bit more graphic content, it's a bit more spicy, and probably has some smut in. I love it. I do. I can't help it. I think it's because I read so much cutesy school life. I like it sometimes where it's just a bit different. It's a bit more mature. So I'm going to put this in. I eat this up. I do. Eat it up every time. Age gap. No. No. This is trash. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Why am I saying sorry? I don't enjoy this trope. I don't enjoy this trope in traditional books, let alone in mangas. And when we say age gap, we're talking age gap. Like, I know, should have put it in here, but like teacher-student. Actually, I'm classing this as a teacher-student because the age gap is going to be ridiculous. I don't mind if there's an older guy or a younger guy. I don't mind that when it's not like 15 years plus. Like, please, I don't want to be reading that. You know what? Random age gap manga that freaks me out and I'm like, is The Hopeless Cupid. I haven't made it far through this manga, but I think I'm DNFing. Tell me if I should keep going with this, but it's icking me out because she's at school and he's like a janitor. He's an older guy and he's kind of looking out for her. But the dynamic between them is a bit weird purely because the age gap. She's in school. Don't know if anyone felt that way, but I did. Oh my goodness, what one was it? This age gap wasn't even that big, but I was like, ew, what is it? I DNF'd this. I dropped this manga. It is a no-go. Stray Cat and Wolf. She is literally a child. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's in high school, but she's got nowhere to live. And then she ends up staying at this random guy's house who he's gone through high school, he's gone through college, he's older. I think there's something wrong with that. That's a small age gap though, but I don't need to defend this. I don't know why I'm getting so defensive here, but it deserves to be in the trash. Older female. I like this trope, I do. I've already mentioned a couple that have this trope in, like Loving Yamada and You're My Cutie. Trying to think other ones. Oh my goodness. Koyuka Bukan. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing that name wrong, but still my first time. That as well is an older female. And I like it, I do. At the same time though, I don't go looking for it. So I'm marrying this. Like, I do like it. And I do enjoy that genre, but I don't care if it's not in it. Do you know what I mean? So it's a meh for me. Tragic backstories. I'm gonna say doesn't slap. I know it can add depth to the story, but I'm really not interested. I might be harsh, but when it's too deep, I don't want this. I'm currently reading Kira today, and that has a tragic story. I am hella invested. I am. But I'm not eager to pick it up because there's a tragic element to it. So it's hard hitting. That's why it's in doesn't slap. And I feel like I would probably avoid it unless it piques my interest. So I'm gonna say doesn't slap. It's just not for me. It's not for me. Like accidental kiss. Okay, we know when this happens. This happens when she trips and she falls and she accidentally falls on top of him. Kiss. Or when they both turn around and they kiss. It's always a clumsy moment. It is. And you know what? I am not keen on this. I don't mind it though, so I think I'm gonna mare it, possibly doesn't slap, because I love a passionate first kiss. I like intention. I like the build up to it. You know, I'm literally tearing the pages and I can't wait for it. So when it's an accidental, I feel like it's a bit of a cop out. So I'm gonna say doesn't slap actually. Cop out city. Right, slow burn. Don't mind a slow burn. I'm gonna put meh. I won't eat it up, but I don't dislike it. So I think meh is fair. Brothers BFF. Love it. I love it. Now, is this eat it up every time or the elite? Who isn't reading Heroine's Love Diary? This manga. If you're not reading this, what are you doing? Read it now. It's so good. And this is Brothers BFF. And it's done so well. And their love language is physical touch. They're really cute. And it's a 10 out of 10. Well, actually, no, there is some dodgy behavior in there. So I will say it's an 8 out of 10. But I do love it. And that is a good manga. So I'm going to put it in it up every time. I love it. It's always sneaking around. To be fair, actually, that's a bit forbidden. That is forbidden love. And I've put forbidden love in doesn't slap. Now I feel like I've been harsh there. Maybe I'll change it at the end. But Brothers BFF is the exception. There we go. And I will eat that up every time. Delinquent. I really do enjoy this trope. I do. I love a bad boy. And I like it when there's effort, like he has to be changed or the girl kind of gets changed. You know what I mean? Like she softens, like she gets a bit more hardcore and he gets a bit more soft, like the dynamic between the two. I do like the Delinquent. Do I go out looking for it? No. What's a good Delinquent one I'm reading? A kind of an ex-Delinquent one is You Are Too Naive, My Sweetheart. Then there's, to say the least, This Is Love. I can't remember the name for this manga, so I'll put it up here, but this is a Delinquent one. And I do like it. I do like the Delinquent. But I mainly like it when they're ex-delinquents, that's the thing. So I think I'm gonna have to put this in meh. Like I'm not very favorable to the Delinquent. I don't mind it when it's in there, but I prefer it when they're ex-delinquents. Yeah, that's better for me. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going and hope for the best that I can edit the crap out of this so I can make it one video. Then we have Animal Companions. This is hard because I don't think this is done right a lot of the time. Like they can get annoying, like, you know, these side characters. The one that I'm thinking of is not a shoujo, but it is 7 Deadly Sins. Like the pig is frustrating and he just calls out the misogynistic and bad behavior of the male main characters. So they're normally there to balance out the bad content, I feel. So I'm not keen on it. I will say though, in Kira today, it has a parrot, which is the animal companion, and he adds amazing, amazing comedy to the story. So I think for me, it's gonna go in doesn't slap because I just don't, they're annoying and they're not done right. So they're doesn't slapping. Like, it's very, very rare it's done right. And even then, I'm not bothered about it. So, nah. We have Trapped Together. So a bit like Forced Proximity. I think I will take this as, you know, when in a manga, they go to like, the two main characters, they meet, they don't get on, and then they realise they're living in a shared accommodation together. I think that could be classed as Trapped Together. Also, if it's fantasy and they've like gone back in time and they're trapped in that time loop together, or if they're on the run and they're kind of trapped together, that's how I'm seeing that trope as. And I don't care for it. I don't mind it, but it's a meh for me. It can add some really, really funny moments, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a meh. Memory loss. Now, there is, what is it? I can't remember the name again, but I will put it up here. I saw it in Waterstones, this manga, and it looks hella good. And this is a memory loss trope. I have never read a memory loss manga, so I feel like this is on a whim here if I'm gonna enjoy it. And I think I'm gonna put meh, because I don't really know. And I'm trying to think, you know what, if a memory loss happened, would it just be annoying because it will redo a lot of things? Like, I really dislike memory loss in traditional books, because I have read some memory loss in that, and you kind of have to redo the story. And I really wouldn't like it if it was that, but I can't put it in Doesn't Slap because I don't know. They might hit the nail on the head, all of these memory loss mangas, so I'm gonna put it in meh. Time travel. Okay, I really wanna read, what is it? Again, I am terrible. Please, if you know what I'm talking about, comment the name of this manga. I want to read the time traveling manga where there's a main girl and a main guy, and the guy goes into like this cave and he's like, I have to go back in time. And when he's in this time loop thing and he's traveling through this cave, it's a different time scale, like timeline to the outside world. So the outside world is going normal time, whereas in this cave thing, the time is slower. So when he comes out, she's kind of lived her life and she's older. I've seen it on TikTok, but I can't remember the name of it, but I really, really, really want to read it. There's also, actually I am reading a time travel one, but it's kind of more a reincarnation one. So does that count? I don't know, let me know. The legendary wicked woman wants a peaceful second life as a boring studious girl. And for me, the manga wasn't slapping. I've only read like 2 chapters, maybe 4, and it wasn't intriguing me. So I'm gonna say, from what I've read, it's not slapping. Oh, that might be harsh, but I feel like with the ones that I've recommended, like the ones that I'm trying to describe to you, I think they would change my opinion of that trope and up it. So that's a potential promotion in the works. Supernatural romance, I love it. Eat it up, eat it up. Yona of the Dawn, 10 out of 10. Then we've got Kami-sama Kiss. It has to be eat it up every time. They are so good. Opposites attract. Eat it up every time. I love it. This is where I was talking about the Delinquent and then the goody two-shoes girl. Or we've got the popular guy and the really quiet girl. Like, those combos I'm living for, living. If you have any recommendations for that, please give them to me. Redemption arc, meh. Doesn't slap maybe. I don't really care for it. But then I don't mind a villain turning good. That's kind of a good redemption arc story. Don't mind that, but at the same time, it's kind of second chancey. I think it's better than second chance, so I'm gonna put it in the meh. I don't think it should be in doesn't slap. I think that would be harsh. So I'm gonna say meh, because sometimes it can be done really, really well. Love letters, confessions. I love it. I can't wait for those confession chapters because they're so good. They're so good. They're a bit annoying when there's repeated confessions, kind of like there's a failed confession, then there's a failed confession, then there's another failed confession, then there's a confession that works out. That gives me the ick. I'm not keen on this. Some of my favourite mangas as well have that in, so I will eat it up still. And I do like a love letter. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I don't know if this is an eat it up every time. Is it worth being up there? I think it does. I've just talked myself into it. I love it. We're doing it. School/holiday trips. Has to be elite. 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 I'm always gagging for these chapters. They are phenomenal. There's always something that happens. There might be a little kiss. There might be a bit more flirting. Just there's always drama and I love it. Some of my favorite school trips are It Takes More Than a Pretty Face to Fall in Love. Such a good school trip. Then we've got Getting Closer to You. Even though I'm not keen on that manga, like the drama happened on that school trip, like a basketball trip. And I did enjoy that. How I Met My Soulmate. That holiday trip was really cute. Usually it's at like a spa. You know what happened. Oh, this one's such a good one. Now, I only know the English translation because I know I'll mispronounce the name. So it's called Rose Colored Days with You. This school trip is 10 out of 10. I love it. She kind of forces the guy to go on it. She's like, I think you'll have fun and I want to see you have fun. And I love their relationship. They're just friends at the moment, but I'm dying for them to get together. Such a good manga. Then Pink 2 Habanero. I mean, that school trip, it does have a failed confession in it, but I did enjoy that bit. Waiting for Spring. So many good trips in that one. Love it. Tama's Reward. That holiday trip. My heart. I love them. If you haven't read that manga, please read it. I'm just thinking about all the way back to It Takes More Than a Pretty Face to Fall in Love. I don't think a school trip can top that for me. It is so good. Anyway, I think I've gushed enough about why it deserves to be in the elites. So next is the Cinderella plot. So it's kind of like the girl, she's living a bad life and she probably doesn't have nice parents, etc. And then she kind of gets saved by this princey character. She might be an orphan. For me, it's meh or doesn't slap. Could you kind of brand Fruits Basket as a Cinderella plot though? That's the thing, I can still love the manga, but the trope is meh. I'm not for it. I think it can get very samey. I'm gonna put it in doesn't slap. I don't mind a damsel in distress, but I've read this millions of times, so I think that trope is a doesn't slap, but then other tropes can make the manga better. I'm sticking with that. The best friend foil. Yes. So this is like a protective best friend, or where the main character, she's had a bit of a better life, but she's shy, she might be quiet, but then her best friend has had a bit more of a rougher life, so she's a bit more rugged around the edges and she's overprotective. Do you know what I mean? Or it could be a bit opposite to that. I love this. Now, is it eat it up every time or is it elite? I think it's eat it up every time. I do. So I'm gonna put it there. So now, because we've got so many eat it up every times, I'm gonna get rid of that column because there's gonna definitely be more eat it up every times. So we know they're there. I'm gonna minuscule them. Okay, royalty and nobility. I don't care. I really don't. I like it, like in Yona of the Dawn, I freaking love it. It's part of the story, but I don't like her royal aspect of the story. Like when Yona is a princess and you know her at the beginning of the manga, she is a whiny, privileged girl, but you end up loving her when she's not stuck with that royalty and nobility. I'm also reading Shadow Princess's Wedding, and that is royalty and nobility, but again, I don't really care for it. But then I do like the politics in Yona of the Dawn, and without the royalty politics, the whole story wouldn't be there. Because I was gonna put it in doesn't slap, but I'm gonna put it in there. Because I don't think it deserves to be in doesn't slap. I think that would be harsh. Strong female protagonist. I like it, but I'm not looking for it. No, that can't be true. Do like a woman that knows what they want. They know what they're doing and they're taking charge. I do like the other side as well. So I'm gonna put it in eat it up every time. Because you know what? Sunshine Cutesy is in elite. And I do like a strong female who is powerful and she's a baddie. So it's going in eat it up every time. Cultural festivals. What shoujo manga does not have a, well, definitely when it's, okay, I'll rephrase that. What school life shoujo manga doesn't have a like school festival, doesn't have a festival, you know, where they dress in the kimono, they dress all nicely, and it's always a big deal. It's like a first date situation. I love it. And then you could do like, there's always the Christmas Day or visiting the shrine or New Year's. I absolutely love it. And if it doesn't appear in a school life manga, I feel empty. I'm always looking out for it. So I'm gonna put it in elite. Yes, it's samey. Yes, it's literally copy paste, but I love it. I love it, and it could do no wrong. Valentine's Day. I'm actually going to doesn't slap this. Can be done right sometimes though, god darn it. But most of the time it's not. And these are my two reasons. Number one is that the girls give the guys the chocolate. Now in England, it's you can give both of them chocolate, but it's mainly the females that get chocolate. But women can give men chocolate as well. It's kind of like, it's not as a big deal, whereas it's all the popular guys get tons of chocolates, you know, and you're like, oh my god, they're getting loads of chocolates. And I wouldn't mind that if, for the second reason, it always becomes an issue because the male main character always takes chocolate from other females when he shouldn't, because he already has someone else he likes, or he eats other girls' chocolates before his girlfriends. No. So it doesn't slap. That always happens. There is a few instances, I will say, where that doesn't happen, but I haven't seen that in really many shoujo mangas. Like, it happens at least once, like the bad stuff, and then it's like they do have a redo the next Valentine's Day, you know? So I'm never looking forward to it. Like, it's always a chapter where I'm rolling my eyes because I'm just like, here we go, we're gonna find the guy doing something wrong again, or the girl's gonna slave away making chocolate and the guy doesn't appreciate it. Actually, you know what? One manga I've seen it done right, but I don't enjoy the manga. I'm not invested in the main characters, is You've Got Me Senpai. She makes like this goodie box for him with loads of chocolates in, and that is sweet. But again, I'm putting it in doesn't slap. I feel like I'm being harsh, but I think it's needed. She falls first, he falls harder. I love it. I love it. Eat it up. Eat it up every time. I am a sucker for a he falls harder trope. It adds so much more to the story. And I love the chase. Like, I love the epiphany moment, you know, where he's like, ugh, like, I don't like you, whatever. But then he ends up realizing, wow, she's amazing. And then boom, he is obsessed with her and he likes her way more than her. Like, she's kind of given up. She's like, yeah, whatever. But then he's like, no. Or even when she still likes him, he is now obsessed. He just dotes after her. Everything's about her. I love it. If you've got recommendations, please give them to me. Give them to people watching this video, because they will want them too. Recommendations below. Enemies to lovers. Eat it up every time. This is, I won't put it in elite, because it is an elite trope for traditional books, but it's not a die-hard trope for me in manga. I don't know why, it's just not, but I do love it and I'll eat it up. Toxic love. No. No. Trash. The amount of mangas I have DNF'd because of toxic love. Why? Why do we want to read about toxic love? It never ends well, or it ends well, but you're like, run. Girl, sprint. Drop him, sprint. No, it is a fat no from me. That is going in the trash. Oh, trauma. This is a similar one to what we've had. Tragic backstory, similar to trauma. To be fair, now I'm thinking back to tragic backstory. That could be like my parents died in a car crash. But would that be trauma? What's the difference? They're pretty similar there. I'm putting trauma as you've gone through something traumatic, as in, yeah, you've witnessed something or you've dealt with something traumatic. Mainly deaths, you know, or you've been abused, which is horrible to say, or you're terminally ill, something like that. Whereas I'm gonna deem tragic backstories as it's more broad, like you could be neglected, you could have been abandoned, like it's more like that, not as traumatic. It's tragic, not trauma. That's where I'm gonna leave this, and I'm gonna put doesn't slap in tragic backstory, but I'm gonna put trauma, eat it up every time, if it doesn't define their character. If it defines their character, then I want it in meh. I think I've done that well. I think I might promote tragic backstories to meh. But do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna say Yona of the Dawn again. She goes through something traumatic and it changes her and it oomph her story. It can be really good, whereas that's not a tragic backstory because it happens. I'm going to promote tragic backstory with a meh. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. It goes there. Sorry about the camera change, if there is one. The camera ran out of storage, so I had to quickly delete some things, and we're back on it. Right, we're nearly there, guys. So next we've got Mafia Gang, and I have not read a shoujo manga that does this well. Like, a lot of the times it has ridiculous fighting in it. I'm not invested in a gang, and it's really corny, and it's just not done well. Like, the execution falls flat for me, where I'm just like, I don't really care about this, you know? And the only one that I don't mind reading is, to say the least, This Is Love. And that is, it has gangs in it, and there's like kidnapping, there's rivalry, etc. There's a lot of fights in there, and it's okay. Like, I can stomach that because I really like the two main characters and I like their romance. But overall, some of them I'm just like, what is going on here? I don't understand. And I'm just like, why are you even fighting? It does my head in. So it's going in doesn't slap. I do have one on the cards to read, which is called Boss Bride Days, and I know that is mafia gangy. That could change and sway my opinion, but at the moment, does not slap. We have an elite. We have an elite. He falls first, he falls harder. Yes, absolutely love it. I am here for it. Some of the best ones. Kurosaki Wants Me All to Himself. Yes, he's a great example. Then we've got It Takes More Than a Pretty Face to Fall in Love. You Are Too Naive, My Sweetheart. The Reason Why Two People Fall in Love. I mean, I love them. I love them so much. It is so good. And I just love the guy chasing the girl. It's phenomenal. It is a phenomenal trope, and it is elite. It is top tier. We're on a roll. We're on a roll. Another elite. Cold male lead. Please give this to me every single time. You know why I love it so much? Any reaction or emotion shown by a cold male lead makes it so much more intense, so much more enjoyable, because they're hardly ever emotional. Like, these men have a straight face. They look like they don't care about the world. When they smile, or they blush, or they laugh, or they have a really cutesy, ditzy moment, it's everything to me. Yes. If I read only cold male lead shoujo mangas, I would be happy. I wouldn't be missing out on anything because I'm getting everything I need. This might be my favorite trope. Love it. Who isn't looking out for these chapters? And it is taking care of each other when sick. It is in every shoujo manga. I mean, at least every school life shoujo manga, or work life, that it's always in there, or college life, you know what I mean? And it's usually the guy gets sick, the girl looks after him, she makes him soup, she tucks him up in bed. Like they have intimate moments, and it's a big emotional development for the characters. Like they get a bit closer, there might be a kiss, like there's something that happens for the relationship because he's weak and vulnerable and she gets to kind of be his savior. It has to go and eat it up every time again. I feel embarrassed by how many eats it up I have. There's just so many, but I just love these tropes, so what can I do? Another elite found family. Come on. This is elite. This is unmatched, except for Cold Emily, male character. You can't tell me it doesn't add everything to a manga story. Like, it's special. It's so special, and it's always a group of really different individuals. They're very unique. They wouldn't get on in normal circumstances, but situations have brought them all together and they just complete each other. They help each other through really, really crazy situations, through tough situations. They have really good moments of happiness together. And I am a true believer in you make your family. Like, family doesn't need to be blood. And this is a definition of that. And I have not found a manga that has done this trope wrong. Then we've got responsibility versus love. Okay, so this is where they decide to focus on schoolwork instead of love, or they can't date because you can't date someone at work, so they focus on work instead of going out with that person, etc. Or it could be like a royalty thing as well, so they've got obligations and they can't marry this person. They have that internal conflict of, I can't pick love because I've got this responsibility. And I would say I don't care for it. I don't think it belongs and it doesn't slap, because it is done well, but it's a meh for me. I'm not looking out for it. If it's in there, great, and if it's not, I'm not fussed. Next, copious blushing. Yes, please. I'm here for it. Definitely if it is a male lead and Kurosaki wants me all to himself, he is a blusher. He blushes and I love it. It literally, I'm kicking and squealing. It's perfection. I don't mind it on the girls when it's done in a comedy, funny way. See, that's the difference. With the guys, it's sweet and endearing and I'm like, oh. But with the girls, if it's comedy based, then I'm all for it. But I think it's overdone when it's not comedy and it just gives so much away for the girl. Whereas that's rare for the guy to do that. But if it's done in a comedy way, like in You Are Too Naive, My Sweetheart, she's branded easy because she blushes at everything and it is hilarious. It's part of the bit, and that's when I love it. So it has to, again, I know this is bad, but it's going in, eat it up every time, again. Nobody girl meets popular boy. I really, really like this trope. I'm gonna eat up every time, screw it. It's going in there. No regrets. I do love it because the girl comes out of her shell. He's all popular and he has that turmoil. Like, a lot of the time he's like, can I date her? Or actually, it's great because he's like, I don't care if I date her because I really like her. But then everyone else is like, you can't date her. Kind of like lemon honey soda. This is that. And it is so good. If you haven't read that manga, read it. That does it really well, and he is so popular and he doesn't give a crap what anyone else thinks. I love it. We have another elite, and this is tsundere boy. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but this is when the guy main character, he's grumpy, he's a bit harsh at the start, but then as it goes, he softens, he becomes warmer and more friendly and opening up, and it's great. I mean, it is fabulous. It is amazing. I am here for it. Right, next. This one's hard for me. Older, inexperienced female lead. This is poorly done 8 out of 10 times. And I'll give you 2 examples, which I've done in another video before. One example that does it really well is Koyukubakan. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Stole my first time. That is an older female lead, really inexperienced, and the younger guy does it really well. And there is an office setting, it's a workplace romance, and that is done with tact. One that isn't done with tact is Do Something Bad With Me. Oh, and it is based in school, and no. So I'm at a dilemma here. I think I'm gonna have to go in Doesn't Slap because it's not done well. I'd rather have an older female lead experience and knowing what she's doing. But when it's done bad, it's, like he teaches her, and it's always like this power play. Definitely when he's younger as well, because he's a bit like, you should know because you're older. And I'm just like, no. It doesn't slap. This is kind of similar to this, okay? We've got love lessons here, and a lot of the time in older, inexperienced female lead, it is love lessons, but I'm not branding love lessons as that. That's an element of love lessons that I don't like, but all in all, I love love lessons, and it's going in and eat it up every time, because this is a condition called love, where she's learning how to be romantic. Also, Two People Romantic is my favorite manga right now. It is so funny. Kind of takes the mickey out of shoujo romance tropes, but in a really good way. And the girl teaches the guy romance and love lessons, and it's so good. So it has to go and eat it up every time, because when it's done right, it is amazing. And if it's not done right, I can breeze past it, unless it's an older, inexperienced female lead. And I think that's okay to do. I'm nearly even putting this in elite because it's so good. I love it. Then we've got Supernatural. Again, I'm gonna put it in Eat It Up Every Time. No, elite. Screw it. I'm doing it. You know why? Because I have not read a supernatural manga that's not good, or a romance supernatural that's not good. They hit the nail on the head, and it adds flavor, adds a bit more dynamic to it. It's just great. Sports, Eat It Up Every Time. I love it. Basketball, Naruse, what is that called? Cheeky Brat. I love that manga. The female lead really does annoy me, but I love Naruse. I pulled through to the end. That was like 20 odd volumes. It was crazy. Then we've got Waiting for Spring. Love it. That's basketball again. To be fair, I read a lot of basketball. I've started to read a volleyball one, and it's called I Fell in Love After School. That's a bit meh to me, but I do really enjoy sports. Like, I like that competitive side of it, and it's usually the girl watching the sport and he's like, I need to play my best. It does add really good comedy and drama to a manga. So a wallflower is a shy girl who doesn't want to attract much attention to herself, and she's pretty socially awkward, so she doesn't put herself in social situations. This is a meh. I am mehing this. I don't mind it. It's in a lot of mangas I read, a lot. It's quite similar to the shy girl, like the nobody girl and popular guy. I don't mind that combo, but that's what I really like. I like that, but then the fact that she's a wallflower is okay. Like, I don't mind that she is, but if she wasn't, it wouldn't bother me. Do you know what I mean? So I think for me, that is a meh. I would rather like a sunshine, clumsy, ditzy, like female lead who, yeah, she's always extra. I love that in a female lead. Well-mannered male lead. Oh my God. I'm gonna put this in doesn't slap, or even trash. No, doesn't slap. Because you know what? In The Reason Why Two People Fall in Love, the male guy is well-mannered, and that for me is the exception. I love June. I love him, but I like a bad boy. I like them bad, and the well-mannered ones, usually I'm not rooting for. I'm not rooting for them to get the girl. They're a bit blah, they're samey, they hardly ever get the girl, but sometimes they do, and I'm just like, oh. So they don't bring me oomph to the story. I want a guy that's moody and not well-mannered. He can cause some ruckus and he creates the drama. So it doesn't slap. Okay, male lead saves the day. I'm gonna put this in there. I don't care. I don't care for it. If it's in there, it's kind of cute. If it's not in there, I really don't mind. It's done well when it's done, but celebrity romance. Only read 2 mangas with this in, and that is Tammy B-Side and Stella Next to Me. I am enjoying both of those mangas. Am I enjoying the celebrity aspect of it? Probably not. I'm not loving it. I like the romance side of it more. All in all, most of the time the celebrity's a bit of an a-hole. Do you know what I mean? Like they get a bit too big for their boots, or they rely too heavily on the female lead. When really they're a celebrity, they could get help in other places. So this is meh or doesn't slap. Even though I like those mangas, it's a bit harsh. It does add a different dynamic to the story. So I'm gonna meh it. I don't think it deserves to be in doesn't slap. That's fair. Artistic pursuits. I do really enjoy this. This might go and eat up every time. Like I like it when they're trying to be a musician or an artist. They're into photography. It adds dynamic. It's a bit like sports. Usually it's the girl who's a bit more artistic, but then I freaking love Chihiro. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong again. Khan, Only His Eyes for Me, and he is like a fashion designer, and he designs clothes for this girl who turns out to be his muse. It is so good. So I think I'm gonna eat this up. Again, I'm gonna eat it up. I'm gonna just smallen it so it can just stay there. So we've got the last one, and this is the School Prince. This makes me feel like the well-mannered male lead. And you know, like the School Prince, everybody loves him, gushing over him. I don't care for this. It doesn't slap. Does not slap. And again, I don't root for them. They don't give me anything. Don't get me wrong, they're nice people. Then again, in the clear moonlit dusk, he is deemed a school prince, and he's actually one with flavour, and he's definitely not well-mannered. It doesn't slap. I don't think one manga warrants that to be higher. Most of the time it's not done right, they're a bit boring. When they do have flavour, they're sometimes a bit cocky. So yeah, I'm gonna put that in doesn't slap. Oof, that's a bit harsh, but you know. So this is the final ranking of the 66 shoujo manga tropes I went through in this video. I mean, the biggest section is Eat It Up Every Time. It has 23 tropes in, and then it was the meh tier, closely followed by the doesn't slap. There's only a select few in the elites, but I think that's okay. Like the elites are the precious tier, they are the god tier. So I'm glad that wasn't too overrun with tropes. I wonder how you guys did your rankings and if you agreed with me on anything. I really enjoy making these ranking videos. So if you like this video and you want me to rank other manga tropes or other things related to manga, then just comment below your suggestions, and yeah, I might do them because I do. These are just hilarious, they're fun, and I think they're quite relatable. You can agree and disagree, and I've managed to chuck some manga recommendations throughout this video, which was great. I think it's fine that Eat It Up Every Time is the biggest one because I am a massive shoujo romance manga fan. I can't help it. I love it. If you're as obsessed with shoujo manga as me, give this video a like and please follow my channel because I do regular manga content. I hope you enjoyed this video and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye.